Hello, everyone. I am taking some time since my internet's down to do some recordings for Festa. So I wanted to talk about how I found BTS or how BTS found me. And it was just a real simple story. I was at work and I was talking about another group, Korean group, gospel singing group called Korean Soul, and was saying how much I enjoyed their performance on America's Got Talent. This was summer of 2021. And after me talking about it several times, one of the ladies that works with me, who's half Korean, said, "Hey, if you like them, you might like this group that I kind of like." And so she said, "Have you ever heard of BTS?" And no, I hadn't. And so she sent me a couple of links to their English songs. So I think she sent me Butter, um, and she sent me Dynamite. And so I listened to both those songs and they were awesome. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So let me Google them because I'm like one of those people that I'm going to investigate more. So I Googled them and found them on the internet and then YouTube. And so then I started watching their videos. And I did a couple of video reactions. And I just remember I was looking for them on the computer earlier today because I was remembering how I was reacting to Dynamite and trying to figure out who was who and all of that and said I think it's this one, but it was wrong, totally wrong. So looking back on that is so fun. And and that's how I started following BTS. And then I found out, okay, they're going to be in the American Music Awards and they were nominated like in 3 or 4 categories. And so I went to my son's house who has this huge TV movie like screen thing. And I watched the American Music Awards with my granddaughter and it was very cool to see them win the Artist of the Year and Pop Duo Group, and I think they won one other one. I know they were like three or four, and so then right after that they announced their concerts in December. I thought I have to go. I have to go to this concert, and my son asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said I want to go to this concert. So he got me tickets, helped me get tickets to go, and I went. And um, Permission to Dance in LA was just wonderful. I was overwhelmed with how good of a show they put on, and was like, wow, this group's for me. And at that time, I didn't have any biases or anything. I kind of started looking into them more and figured out that Namjoon was the leader, and so I kind of thought he's going to be my bias because he's the leader, and I like leaders. And so after that, went to that concert, came home, did the holidays. And what was so funny is that during this same period of time is when I started graduate school and started on my doctorate degree. And so I had no idea when I started standing BTS that it was so time consuming because um, they just are. I've never experienced anything like that. I don't remember that from being a lot younger and following like the Jacksons or Cameo or Earth, Wind and Fire or any of the big groups during my high school, college years. I don't remember it being like all consuming sort of. And so I really had to discipline myself to not get into this journey to the point where I wasn't prioritizing properly. And I know Army out there, you all totally understand what I'm talking about, right? Because it really is hard to prioritize when you want to know what's going on. They're always doing something. So anyway, I started my doctoral degree. And that's when they announced a little bit of a break, right after those Permission to Dance concerts at the end of 2021. And that's when I believe Stay Alive came out. I think V released a song, Christmas Tree, that went with a K drama, which I didn't know anything about K dramas. So then I started watching K dramas when I had time. And then it rolled into 2022 where I think that came out, and then With You came out, and then they got nominated for a Grammy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to the Grammys and I'm going to be a seat filler. And that happened. And that was an amazing experience. I met some great people and people that are still in, and a couple of friends that are still in my life right now. I'm so proud that we moved from just being Army to being friends. And then after that, went to the permission to dance concerts in Vegas, and that was a beautiful experience. I went to two concerts, and one thing, it's just crazy. It's like one show is almost like not enough because you just feel compelled to film the whole time because you're afraid you're going to miss something. You want to capture everything. And so you want to go to a show where you can just watch. And I thought, oh, I'll just watch and enjoy. And of course I filmed again, like I hadn't seen it before. But that was a show where they announced that they were dropping Proof in June. And so then I made a quilt and then did a proof party where I met more friends, and one lady and I are friends now. We see each other often, and so I did that, and then all of the Festa happened, and that Festa last year was for me as a new army, not really knowing what Festa was, and my first Festa, it was traumatizing. But made it through all of that and went into this chapter 2 and all the things, bad decisions. I mean, I could just, there's so much that they've done. And I don't regret any of the journey. I am enjoying it. It's a wonderful part of my life. I do have other hobbies. I love to sew. And so I'm doing some quilts related to BTS new solo releases. I love to garden. And this year, because I'm done with my coursework, with my doctoral program, I'm actually in my yard. I'm looking forward to getting the yard set the way that I want and continuing to develop the landscape. And I'm planning on doing a brunch for Army in my area sometime the end of this month or early next month. We'll see. Sometime this summer, a brunch for Army friends that I've met. So I'm really just enjoying the BTS journey. And I had a conversation over dinner with some Army friends before going to the Suga Live in Theaters concert. And I made this statement that BTS did not save me. And what I meant, and it could have been taken the wrong way, and I think it worked out. But what I meant by that is that my life was full and my life was thankfully happy prior to BTS. Now, it's not that I haven't been through anything. Those of you who've been following me on TikTok a while, you know that in a matter of 15 months, I lost my father, I lost my husband, and I lost my eldest son. And my pastor of over 15 years, 18 years at the time. And it was a lot and it was overwhelming and I've never experienced, and I hope never to experience that ever again in my life. But because of my faith, I was able to walk through that season of my life. And the music that sustained me was the gospel music that I had grown up singing, listening to. And it was such a part of my life that there were songs that I could listen to that would sustain me and give me courage and give me hope and give me comfort. The cool thing about finding out about BTS in 2021 is that I found that their music resonated with me and the experiences that I'd been through, as well as the current life that I was going through. And a song in particular that really struck me was Epiphany, the one that Jin sings. And I'm the one I should love in this world, and I, for the first time, had come to a place in my life where I felt it was okay to prioritize me. Because when you get married young, like I did at 19, and then you have a family and you're married and you're making that relationship healthy and happy, and which is a lot of work, and you are working and developing your career and keeping a home and doing all those things that you do. As women, a lot of times we tend to put ourselves on the back burner while prioritizing the interests and things of our kids and our spouse, etc. And that's what I did. And I don't have any regrets about any of it, honestly. I enjoyed every moment of being a mom. I mean, there were frustrating times, but I loved being a mom, and I would have had more kids if my husband had agreed to it. I only had 3. I wanted 5. But anyway, I enjoyed that season so much of my life. I enjoyed the church I was a part of, helping to start, and ministry and helping people and doing all of that. But I had always put myself in the back. And so when I heard that song, Epiphany, it was at a time where I had been praying about prioritizing me and just doing stuff I wanted to do. I mean, just going when I wanted to go, decorating my house the way I wanted, just all the stuff that you just never do when you're considering other people. And so that song just so resonated with me. And that's why it's one of the seven songs that made me army. Another song that really resonated with me that reflected something I'd been through was fake love, not in a romantic sense, but in a friendship sense. I had been friends with this person, this young woman, this woman, my peer, for almost 40 years. And over me scratching a 10-year-old truck while I was moving and offering to repair it, but not doing it the way she wanted or her husband wanted, I lost that friendship. And it was just fake. That's the only thing I can say is that it had to be fake, because how do you drop a relationship you've had for 40 years where you've been through life and death together over a scratch on a 10-year-old truck? But anyway, so that song really resonated with me. And then Mic Drop is another one that I really liked, not because I have a whole lot to brag about, but more that I've been able to make it through the tough times of my life. The highs are really easy. It's just when you get into those really tough times and those lows and those disappointments and the things that hurt you, or the people that even hurt you, that you're able to make it through. And sometimes I felt, even in going through the grief process I went through and all of that, that some of the people in my life would have been happier had I not been able to go through it. And so I almost felt rejected because I was progressing through it well. And so I just got to the point where, in my own thinking, like, look, yeah, I made it. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I'm doing this. Mic drop. Just leave me alone. Just like, that's kind of where I got. So I love that song. And then another one that made me army was I Need You Girl. And I just liked the passion in that song. I liked the fact that the guys are singing, I need you, girl. They're expressing their desire for love and for this relationship. And I had a I had a great love of my life, in my husband. And I liked that passion was in that song, and I look forward to experiencing that passion again. Someone wanting me like that, and then me wanting someone back like that. So I Need You Girl. And also, it's their breakout song. It's this song, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it's a song that really opened the door for them and really put them on the map. It's on the album where they got Artist of the Year for the first time, et cetera, et cetera. So I like that song. Another song that made me army is Permission to Dance. And I really like Permission to Dance because it expresses my heart at this season in my life, that I no longer need permission to do what I want to do, to be who I want to be, to go where I want to go, and least of all, permission to dance. And that I look at as like a permission to be happy in the new season, permission to be happy in a different life than I thought I would have at this point, right? I don't need permission. I can just do it. You know, I can dance, I can sing, I can enjoy life, and no one can tell me I can't. And so I love that song. And let me see. Another song that's an honorable mention in Making Me Army is from the Wings album. Um, Forever Young. I love that song. Forever we are young. Because, you know, in my growing up, my parents were older parents for their generation. So if my dad were living, he'd be over 100 right now. So he was 40 when I was born. But, growing up, my parents never seemed older than my peers' parents, who were like 10 to 15 years younger than them. And and even to this day, my mom's 96 and she's still alive and she still lives on her own. And although I would prefer that to be different, but she's able to care for herself and get her meals and just kind of look forward to getting up every day. And so that's how I want to be. I've got a long way to 96, thankfully, over 33 years. And so I want to feel that excitement about life. And so Forever Young, that song just resonates with me. And I know BTS are singing it, and they're in their 20s when they're singing it. And now all of them will be in their 30s eventually. And for them, they're thinking, oh, my life's going by. But, I'm twice their age. And I'm like, no, forever, we're young. And it's a young at heart, a young in your thinking. And I just think when we start thinking that, oh, my life's almost over. I've lived more than half of it now. That's not thinking that keeps you fresh, keeps you young, and keeps you energetic. So that's an honorable mention for me for the songs that made me Army. And I'm trying to think, there's one more that I think I forgot. So hold on a minute. How could I forget this one? Butter. Smooth like butter. And the reason that song it made me Army, helped to make me Army, is because of one line. Smooth like butter, I owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, making you sweat like that. No, it's Cool Shade. It's Cool Shade Stunner. I owe it all to my mother. Hot like summer, yeah, making you sweat like that. I love that because I do owe it all to my mother. Whatever charms I have, whatever good looks I have, I give my dad a little credit, but I owe it all to my mom. And so that lyric just kind of drew me in. And it's a great summer song, and I just enjoy listening to it. So those are the songs that made me Army. This is what I want to say today in honor of Festa. I have no regrets. I'm not looking back. Just like Namjoon's song number 2, No Looking Back. That's me. I'm not looking back. I'm going forward. I appreciate everything that's happened in my life up to this point because that's helped to create who I am today. But I am living today and I'm going to move forward into the next day as God gives them to me. So, anyway, happy Festa. We still got a long way to go before it's over. Bye.